Okay, Mike Johnson is going to provide us with the partnership updates on Western Bridge Preservation Partnership and National Working Groups. So welcome, Mike, please.
Which is talk about our national working groups. We have a couple of them. The one that we, as a Western Preservation Partnership, originated is the National Deck Work Group. Okay, so we have a group, we have a member from each of the partnerships, and it's that working group along with industry that produced the material that you saw for deck seals and deck overlays. And I'm really pleased to see Clay step up and take on the patch products. It was always the vision of the group that we would progress through these, and it is a lot of work. And you know, I would encourage you, if you want to get involved in this, to step up and lead one of these, because if you're waiting for one person to do all of them, it's not going to happen. I mean, it's a lot. It takes time. It takes time, but it was also a very rewarding experience. And I have to tell you, I learned a lot from working with the industry doing the seals and overlays. I thought I knew something about them, and then when we got into it, I kept learning more and more. So it's a really educational process, because the industry members in this partnership, they know a lot about these products. And so anyway, it was a good thing. So I'll start with what we did from the bridge deck working group, if you will, and really all of our focus and energy was placed on getting this TSP2 software going. So we went from technical specification and attribute development in these matrices to actually designing software. And we had, I don't know, a call probably every other week for the better part of a year, because what Ed didn't, Ed showed you what it can do, but behind the scenes, we established a whole security protocol so that the national working group leads have control over the content of product. In other words, you can't just add a product into these matrices without the National Deck Working Group agreeing that the product should be there. And the reason for that is because, and this was one of those things I learned, the same product is actually marketed under different names in different parts of the country by the same manufacturer. And so you can really get a huge list of which you may have a lot of duplicates and they have different trade names, but they're the exact same product. And so that was something I was not aware was happening, but it is. So anyway, there was a lot of work that was done with respect to who can load content into this software that Ed just went through. And so he didn't really cover he covered what we wanted to have happen, but our intent is to have every state that's represented in the partnership to have one designated person that actually loads content for that state. Okay, now it doesn't have to be one, but when we talk about trying to make sure that the content up there remains professional and remains quality, quality stuff, we felt it was better to have that kind of controlled. So you can go in and look at the products, but if you actually want to edit the data, you have to have a login. And that login will be assigned by TSP2 to the appropriate folks, not only in the DOT, but also in industry. So there's another set of, another piece of the software that will allow industry to notify the national working groups that they have a new product to be considered for the website. So there's a whole other avenue for industry side. And being that this is a partnership, while the states can put their experience with the product, the manufacturers can also put their comments on your comments. Okay, so think about this before before you're posting things that in some cases your comments could impact someone's livelihood. So sometimes something goes wrong with the product. It happens to even the best products. Maybe we didn't prep, the deck right, or maybe we didn't prep the steel right prior to a coating system. So just remember, these are your partners, and the goal is not to really, the goal is to put positive information that would benefit other people. For example, to say like in California that we use a lot of polyester concrete and we have great experience with it. That doesn't mean latex modified is not good. It just means in California we use a lot of polyester. So that tool allows us to put our spec up there. We could put our deck prep up there. We can put photographs up there. We can share information. And if everybody does that, when you go to that website, you would see that, okay, there's, 25 agencies in the United States that are using polyester concrete. Each of the things posted will come with who posted it. So there is no anonymous posting. So it does two things. One, it lets you know who's using the product, but it also lets you know who to contact if you have questions about the product. So that's the virtual network part of it. So anyway, the National Deck Working Group, really, we focused all in on this. We probably spent 2 or 3 years to get it justified. We had to write a lot of justification documentation for the steering committee for TSP2 to do that. The other thing that we did was to get more help, and that was nice because Clay came in and said, okay, he'll do the patch products. But correct me if I'm wrong, Clay, Clay's only doing flat surface patch products, correct? So our vision was to go to vertical and inverted patch products as an extension of that. So that might be the next places you go. So that kind of covers where the National Deck Working Group is. We also have a member, Deb Steiger, who's on the National Joint Working Group, and Deb is not here, and I have not seen an update of what they have done. Is there anybody here on that group that wants to comment on anything that was done in the last year? I was afraid of that. So we're not really going to get an update, but if you have interest in being part of that joint working group, Deb Steiger, Watson Bowman, she's your contact in our partnership. And there is a contact in every other TSP2 partnership. So the idea is to start leveraging, beyond just the western states to the country. There is I believe, a national working group on coatings. And I don't believe at this time the Western Preservation Partnership has a member on that. So if someone is interested in being on the National Working Group for Coating, then we can put you, I believe Jeff Pouillet in Florida is the lead of that National Working Group. So ultimately, those working groups will be the gatekeeper to put coating products into the TSP2 database. The joint working group will be the gatekeepers for putting product in for joint. And that's kind of the model of how the working groups are going to feed up into this bigger database. With that, that's really all I had to report. We did a lot of it yesterday, so I think we're running a little bit ahead of schedule. I will say that I guess effectively, as of about right now, I'm going to turn the torch of this partnership over to Travis, which is great. And Travis and I have been working really closely, I think, for the last year, and I think had a common vision of where we wanted to see the partnership go. So I don't know that you'll see dramatic changes there, but I feel good leaving you in good hands. For the last year, it's been a privilege, I guess, to serve as a chair for a year and come in on Chris's heels. And Chris did carry the torch for a long time. And I just feel it's important for the partnership to have leadership that changes. And so when I came in, I made it very clear I was going to do it for a year. And at that time, Josh Sletton was going to come in right after me and do it for a year. And so we wanted to build this structure of rotation at the leadership of the partnership to give other people an opportunity to get engaged. But my goal really for last year was to, to try to do as good as we could with the partnership and make improvements where possible. Carry forward the good work that Chris and everybody had done getting us to that point. And, we tried to do that. I hope we did a good job for you. And I'm happy to have Travis coming in. So I'll let him close us out.